Greetings, boys and girls. It's me, Mr. Jonwayne Frankenstein, coming to you live in living color. And well, as you can see, today I am giving you the scariest version possible. At least, you know, I love horror movies. I love showing them. And it's always like, so what are you afraid of, John Wayne? What's your greatest fear? Being attacked? No. Eaten alive? Not really. Cut up and dissected while I'm screaming in pain? Nah. For me, my entire life, the scariest thing would be to let people see me without a shirt on, not see who I really am. I don't mind that. In fact, when I wear my normal outfits, I'm really expressing my true inner self. I'm not putting on a costume. I'm expressing how I feel. Um, but I've always been like afraid of even seeing myself this way. Um, I mean, yeah, I'm about the scariest thing in the world. Overweight, shirtless, crazy, middle-aged guy. That's not anything anyone wants to see. And sometimes I get mocked for the videos I make, and they're like, "Oh, you're some fat old guy. What are you wasting our time for?" Well, they're like, "You're just some crazy person that wants attention." And yeah, that's exactly it. I was some crazy person. I still am. Who wants attention? Who wants to express themselves? That doesn't care what other people think. But I have always cared about what I think. And I used to be afraid to even take off my shirt, like even when I was home alone. Because, well, when I was a kid, being overweight was like the worst thing. Being fat made you instantly unpopular. No one would date you. You're just a loser. And, well, I was fat all my life. And it really had a psychological effect on me. I mean, I eventually lost some weight. I'm still a big guy, though. I mean, check it out. I mean, yeah, got a bit of a beer gut, dad bod, or whatever you want to call it. I got a big butt, stuff like that. But eventually, I forced myself to just get over it. Now, as far as the outfit I normally wear, top hat, always loved top hats. That goes back from when I was a kid. And the penguin was kind of my idol. I mean, he was a chubby, crazy villain that didn't care what anyone thought about him. So I really, really liked him. And in his origin, he was always picked on in school, just like I was, and but never gave up and kept fighting back, just like I did. So that's why I like the top hat. But it also so happens that top hats, for some odd reason, are associated often with Halloween and horror. So it worked on two levels. And then, of course, I always liked the color black because I always felt like a creature of the night. Actually, I always felt more dead than alive. Like on the inside, I was dead. And that's probably why I enjoyed horror movies, vampires and ghosts and ghouls and zombies so much. Because I could relate to the monsters. I mean, Frankenstein, the monster, was always kind of an idol to me because he was always hunted and hated and rejected because he was ugly, not attractive, and didn't fit in. And I could emphasize with that. At the same time, he was strong and powerful. And when I was a kid, I was actually really strong for my age. I probably still am stronger than you would expect. But sadly, that doesn't get you anywhere. Just even if you get in fights and win them. And all you get for it is more fights. You don't get respect or anything. You just get other people trying to beat you down. So then the duster. I used to wear trench coats until I saw a duster. Then I saw a duster and I fell in love with the dusters. The dusters were like my favorite thing. The only thing I hate about dusters is they can get really hot in the summer and it's hard to wear them and not sweat and smell bad. And when you're a big guy, they always assume you stink. So it's like I was always obsessed with taking baths and smelling good, but it didn't matter. They would just think, oh, you're fat and smell, no matter what. But the dusters, they're cool. They're like a trench coat, and then they help hide things like maybe your butt's too big. Well, that's me. You know, that was part of it. And they also just look neat and cool, and they kind of were almost function like a cape and have a blackness to them. Um, and at the same time, they kind of looked Western. So it was like an interesting combination of the goth and Westernism. And of course, I started wearing those skeleton T-shirts because, well, it reminded me of Halloween, which was my favorite time of the year because that's one time everyone tries to have fun and everyone can be whatever they want. And if you're scary or ugly, it's even better because people strive to be like that. And we all die and we all become bones and skeletons in the end. And of course, I like the spikes. The spikes were kind of like symbolic of something that would keep people away. Because if people are away from you, they can't hurt you. But if they come too close, you can hurt them. I was I always wanted to be close to people, you know, but I was awkward and didn't really know how to relate to the humans because I don't think like people. I don't understand humans. So I wouldn't say I was intimidated, but I just didn't know how to fit in or respond to them. Of course, the chains represent the bondage and the challenges that everyone goes through all the time. And, well, sunglasses, they look cool, but they also hide your eyes, so you don't have to look people in the face, make eye contact, and they don't know what you're looking at. They don't know what you're thinking. They had an air of mystique and mystery to you. So I guess that's the genesis of the outfit I wear. Oh, and gloves. I almost always wear gloves because on one hand, I really wanted to touch people, hug people, and all that. I strive to be touched and feel that too. But it was something that I just was kind of intimidated by, I guess. I don't even know if I would know how to react to in that. It's like, on one hand, just holding someone's hand is like something that I always wanted, but nothing I could get myself to do because nobody ever really wanted to be around me. Because, it's crazy, demented. I love horror and things, and I was really macabre and like talking about death and dying was my favorite topic. Um, and so I guess that was it. Then when I put it all together, it looked really interesting, and I loved how it looked, and it just spoke to me in that it was something I found fascinating and interesting, and I wanted that character to exist. And at the same time, it was a little haunting and mesmerizing. It, I hear people say how I look like Jack the Ripper or a serial killer or things like that. And I'm like, I'd be walking down the street and someone would yell, "Freak!" I'm like, well, I mean, yeah, that's what people always thought of me, regardless of how I dress. But so it allowed me to express the true me and be exactly who I wanted to be. And I still, it's like I said, the Emperor John Wayne outfit, the outfits I wear in the video, that's how I like to dress. That's what I like to look like. And That's what I'd look like all the time. But I guess it's the reason for it. Yeah. I mean, I'm certainly not insecure, but I was myself. I myself didn't want to look at myself. I didn't care what other people saw. I didn't care what other people thought about me. Well, I guess it took me a while to be comfortable with the real me. And since I always subject people to horror and terror, make them watch my horrible movies, I felt it was only fitting that I would take this opportunity to do the thing that intimidates and scares me the most. And that's right now, revealing my true self, being here, letting you see that, yes, I really am just a overweight, middle-aged, crazy guy that loves attention, that doesn't have a great body. I wish I was good looking. It'd be great. But, you know, everyone wants something, and no one can have everything. I mean, hey, I'm going to be around for centuries. I'll be the oldest living human being someday. Well, I'm not really human. No one ever accused me of that. In fact, that's the next thing. That's why I've been making these videos. Not so much because I figured I'd ever make any money or, people would want to watch me. I was making them so I'd have something to look back on and see myself over the years. And, I've been making videos for like 20 years, although a bunch of the original ones I all deleted. I've already explained why I did that in the past. In any case, lately I've been trying to sleep before going to work. I work the graveyard shift, which nobody should be surprised about whatsoever. And I have to go to work in about an hour. I've been trying to get a little sleep because, when you work 10 hours at night, sometimes it helps to sleep. But sadly, I just haven't been able to get to sleep. I've been feeling this weird disconnect, like a disassociation, like I'm missing something, I'm losing something. It could be partially due to the fact that, I had 100 videos of me hosting horror movies, but then the person who posted on their page just deleted his entire page, and now they're all gone. I don't have access to them. And sadly, I don't have a good editor or a good editing program. It's like I don't have someone to help me make them. And I'd love to make them myself, but sadly, at this time, I don't have a good editing program. A lot of them are really expensive, and I've been saving up all my money to buy a new house, which coincidentally, I just bought a house. I'm in the process of getting it. My deal closed on June 24th, so soon you will no longer see this crappy background of this overpriced ghetto apartment that I've been staying at. Soon you'll see me in my new domain, my new lair, my forever home, a place that I hope to live in for decades and decades, at least maybe 100 years or longer, unless I happen to get really rich so I can afford something bigger and more fun. I don't know. Yeah. So this is it. I've been wanting to make a video for a long time and I didn't know what to make. And then it occurred to me when someone asked, well, what are you afraid of? What intimidates you? What would scare you? So I probe deep into my mind and do a lot of soul searching. And here it is. You seeing me without all my gear, without me hiding my body or anything else. Just the real Emperor Jonwayne Frankenstein. Being completely himself, being completely vulnerable. So there you have it. I will probably try to do some more streams. What else am I gonna do? I'm kind of busy packing and working. I work a lot of hours and a lot of overtime. And I don't have a good editor yet. I'll work on that after I move to my new place. I don't have anyone to help me with these videos. So I guess I'll just do live broadcasts talking to you about stuff, letting you know what it means to be Jonwayne, my history, my origins, my feelings, and all that. And I do have 304 subscribers. I love you all, and I thank you all for the subscriptions. Sadly, I need 1,000 of them to be able to be monetized, but I'm not doing it for money. And if anyone enjoys anything I've done before, I love you and I appreciate you. And I'm glad that some people get it. I mean, yeah, there are a lot of cringy and miserable, but that's why I'm the king of cringe and the master of misery. But if you really enjoyed them, I appreciate it. I'm glad that somebody else gets it. And, what can I say? I'm just some creepy, middle aged, overweight, crazy guy that loves attention. So I'm not ashamed or afraid of anything. And I don't care if people love or hate me. So here we go. Here I am, showing you the world exactly what I am. Mostly for my own sake. Mostly so I have something I can look at 100 years from now and watch, as the decades go by, how I change or don't change. Yeah, most people don't actually know how old I really am. They're actually surprised when I tell my age, but that's okay. I mean, granted, now I'm growing this beard and that kind of makes me look a little more mature and old, and it kind of looks cool too, kind of almost wizard and stuff. Um, I mean, I started doing that because it looked kind of freaky back when I was making hosting those horror movies. And then I had an AI program where I tried to make it generate me, and it looked so cool with the beard. I just had to keep it. Most of my life, I went clean shaven, but I like the goatee. And another thing is all the villains that usually have like a goatee, facial hair or something, and of course, like the old wizards, they all have it. It's like you stroke their beard and look really cool and wise. But in any case, it's grown on me, quite literally. And it's odd because it's the one thing that my physiology is great at is growing facial hair. I mean, actually, if I did the whole beard, it'd be like poof, like a whole lion's mane. And it looked all right, but I happen to think that this look suits me a little better. And I don't know. Oh, so I'll stick with it until I decide that I'm not going to anymore. In any case, it's about that time. I have to get dressed and brush my teeth, comb my hair, and get all cleaned up before I go to work tonight to where I get to deal with all the customers. Woo! So, we'll catch y'all later. Thanks for watching. Once again, it is I, your good friend, Emperor Jonwayne Frankenstein, telling you, don't worry. Just be happy, be yourself. If I can sit here and show you the world, who I am and what I am, you don't have to be ashamed of who you are either. You can just go out and be yourself and have a good and relax and accept yourself and look at the bright side. How are you going to be cringier than me? Are you going to be crazier than me? Probably, if you want to, but I wouldn't suggest it. Just you know, relax, be yourself, take care of yourself and each other. And remember, there are two rules: be yourself and don't be an a hole.